What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Knives at the Round Table. And today we're going to be talking about 3 knives for life. We're going to go through the excruciating process of reducing our collection to just have 3 knives for the rest of our lives. And although the process is excruciating, just whittling down, a collection of, 80 or 100 knives down to just 3 for the rest of your life, I think that the exercise is really interesting because it makes you focus on which blades have the highest quality and which blades are the most versatile. And what I wanted to do is getting down to the knives that I'm going to show you here already took a very long time. It was very hard to pick, but ultimately I was looking for something that was extremely high quality, right? If you're going to have something for the rest of your life, it better last. Second, it has to be versatile. You have to be able to use it for a lot of things, right? You want something that just does one thing really good because, well, in the rest of your life, the next 50 or 60 years, whatever, you're going to need something that can do more than just one single thing. And then third is I really have to like the knife, right? If I'm going to be stuck with this knife for the rest of my life, man, I better love it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of whittle down kind of the process that I did with my collection at large, and I'm going to do it with just a few knives, and that'll kind of get you an idea of my thought process of how I got to these knives. So right off the bat, I knew that one of my knives for life had to be a fixed blade. I like to go camping. I like to do bushcraft type activities. So I decided that one of the knives had to be a fixed blade. And here are probably four favorite fixed blades, okay? And I wanted to talk to you because, for example, the Nyala, the Chris Reeve Nyala, this is my favorite fixed blade. I don't know if you can tell, but I put a mirror edge on this knife. And this is my favorite fixed blade. It fits my hand really well. It has a really good size. Okay, it's really, really well made. It's 35 VN. And I use it a lot. And it's probably my most carried fixed blade. But if I had to pick just not one knife for the rest of my life, it couldn't be this one. As much as I like it, it's a little bit too small. If I wanted to chop something or baton something, this will just not get me there, okay? And that's kind of the same story with the Winkler General. I love this knife, the build quality. I mean, look at that jimping. It's so unique. This is the General that they do exclusively for the Mass General store, and it's such a nice knife with the best sheath that you've ever seen. Let me show you this. It's got Kydex with a liner inside, which makes it so that you never get that plasticky click, It's still very secure. And then you got the Kydex, you got the liner, and then on the outside you got leather for that more classical look, and then a tech lock that you can shift around or move and scouts carry or whatever. I think Winkler makes the best sheets in the world, to be honest. But again, as Nick Shabazz would say it, I digress. The Winkler knife is too small. On the other end of the spectrum, I have my favorite large blade, which is the TRC Apocalypse. This is in the apocalyptic finish. Again, I put a mirror edge on it. And this one is great for batoning tasks, is great for chopping, is great for, for heavy duty large stuff, but it's a little bit too big. If I ever want to, carve something or whittle something, it's a little bit too big for that. So in my 3 knives for life, when I had to pick just one single blade for the rest of my life, I settled on the Bark River Squad Leader in 3B. And what this blade has is, it's a medium-sized blade. Okay, so if you compare it to the Chris Reeve, it's a little bit bigger than the Chris Reeve Nyala. Okay, certainly a lot thicker. I mean, look at that spine. It's a 1/4 inch steel. It's crazy. But it's not as big as the TRC Apocalypse. Okay, they're probably about as thick. But I think that this is a more versatile knife. I think this knife is extremely well made. You know, Bark River has excellent fit and finish. It has really good ergonomics. The Coke bottle handle that it has, it fits your hand really, really well. Again, like I said, the size, it makes it great for a jack of all trades. It's not going to be the greatest chopper or batoner, but it'll get me there, and it could do some finer tasks if I need to. So I think that this was just a really good compromise. This is in 3B, so imagine a 1/4 inch of 3B steel. That'll probably do basically everything that I needed to for the rest of my life. I don't think that I could damage this knife. So this would be one of my 3 knives for life. Now the other 2 slots, I knew that I wanted to do a folder, and it's really hard to reduce my whatever 60 or 70 folders that I have to just 2. So I'm gonna show you here a couple. So this one is the Rick Hinderer XM18 in a 3.5 inch blade, and this one is the Paramilitary 2 in the Tanto blade. This is an M4 blade, and one of these 2 is going away, but I ended up, you know, reducing it to these 2 as like an everyday carry, like what I would use normally in a day-to-day, because, well, they're first really, really good knives, right? They're really well made. Oh, fail. But more specifically, because they are 2 of the most customizable knives that you'll probably find in the entire world. Okay, this one's probably more so than this one. You can find scales, hardware in every shade, color, material, texture that you can possibly think of. You want titanium, micarta, carbon fiber, like this one has. You can do anything. So if I'm gonna keep one knife for the rest of my life and I could customize it, well, maybe I don't get bored of it as much. Now, the same goes for the Rick Hinderer. Now, for Rick Hinderer, the third party is not as extensive as you have for the Paramilitary 2. But the original scales, you can have direct from Rick Hinderer, every shade of G10 under the sun. You can have all kinds of titanium. You can have blue, bronze, titanium, texture, non-textured, with a horse head, without a horse head. You can have carbon fiber, micarta, and then if you go to DLT, they have some exclusives with a warhog symbol up front. You can have your hardware any color you want. You can have different filler tabs and pocket clips. Like this one, I put an niobium filler tab. I put purple hardware, and then this was an original stonewash titanium, plate titanium scale, but it was modified or engraved by Midnight Sun Industries with this paisley, and then it was anodized purple. So that kind of completed the look of this knife. So I ended up with these 2, and ultimately I settled on the Rick Hinderer XM18. I just think that the tri-way pivot system, you know, if you're gonna do tasks that require you to be in dusty environments or sand or something like that, you could change your hardware inside here from bearings to phosphorescence washers, okay? And then if you wanted to just have the awesome action, you can get it back to your bearings. Also, I think the old titanium construction that you can get in this thing, as opposed to, I mean, you can get titanium scales for the Parrot too, no doubt about it. But at the end, it's still kind of a liner lock, right? I know it's called a compression lock, but it's really based on liners, and I just think that the full titanium scale construction is just a much better, robust construction. So I decided to keep as my second knife for life the XM18 3.5 inch from Rick Hinderer. And then finally, I decided that I wanted something a little more high end. And the two knives that I ended up settling on to make a final decision was the Custom Knife Factory Evo 2.0 and the Shirogorov F3NS. And these two knives are excellent. Okay, they are really well made. They have excellent fit and finish, excellent materials, excellent action. I mean, look at that. This one's a figure guillotine, and it comes to such a fine edge. It's just, and the shape of this one is just very unique. Now this one is maybe even better made, and the action is, if you can believe it, even better. The carbon fiber and the liner lock is just really, really good. It feels so good in the hand. The ergonomics for both of these are just outstanding. But again, one of the things that I was looking for is versatility. And I think that this one ended up winning today. Because this one, I like it a lot. But if, for example, if I ever wanted to do like a gentleman's carry, now this is big for a gentleman's carry, but it's probably a little bit more subdued, a little bit more elegant. The lines are not, as Nick Shabazz would put it, it doesn't have the murderosity that this one has. This one is a little bit more sleek, and I think the quality on both of these is outstanding. But I think in my collection, if I had to pick just one knife that was the best, okay, the best knife, I think it'd be the Shirogorov F3NS. So YouTube, guys, if I had to pick 3 knives for the rest of my life, I would settle on these 3 knives. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you have, suggestions or comments, just let me know. And if you think I've earned it, if you think it's worth following my channel, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody.